The cope is unreal, boy. So this comment was left under that video where I said, I stood up in my back garden and they laughed at me when I told them, in 10 years time, when man's 30, I will have a house that's worth 600 grand. Granted, I'm 32 years old, nearly 33, and I still do not have one house that's worth 600 grand. But I have 6 properties that are worth just over $1 million. So this person's left this comment saying, if it's paid outright, then well done. If not, then you don't own anything. The bank owns it. You just have the responsibility of the property. Furthermore, you don't even own the person went on to say quite a lot. Like it was a fat scroll of a comment coming like a Ross Clark diatribe. But the part where I'm saying that they're coping is because at the end they put hashtag mortgages are a scam. These people make me laugh. Like, I don't know, maybe this is a rhetorical question, I don't know it, but yo, what is you people's beef with mortgages? I know your credit score is nuts. I know you cannot be trusted to take out a loan and that, but yo, other than that, what is your beef with mortgages? This person said something along the lines, because like I said, they left a large comment, yeah? Something about investing in a business and investing in yourself and that. Yo, these kids here make me laugh here when they say, why would you want to take 20 grand and invest it in a property when you can invest it in upskilling yourself? The youths that say this, yeah, they claim to be entrepreneurs. Let me tell you something right now, yeah? If you claim to be an entrepreneur and to get hold of 20 grand is big money to you, you ain't no fucking entrepreneur. You're not an entrepreneur. 20 grand, I'm not saying I can have that in a month, but what I'm saying, if man need to, get 20 grand, man will get 20 grand, man will save up 20 grand, blood, if I really need to, No, it won't take me 2 years, none of this saving up £1,000 a month, no, that was years ago. Yeah, man's level's higher now, innit? They ain't no just saving up £1,000 every month. Man can save up more than that, innit? Yeah. But yeah, they're talking about, why would you want to take 20 grand and invest it in a property when you can invest it in yourself to upskill yourself? Yo, what's 20 grand? Don't get it twisted. Man does not want to lose that money. And I don't want to pay that in stamp duty neither. Yeah. If anything, it should be a hashtag stamp duty is a scam. Yeah. But mortgages are not a scam. The thing is with mortgages, because these people are ignorant, they're not educated, they don't understand mortgages, they've just been brainwashed to think that mortgages are evil or something like that. They will see on a mortgage illustration a loan for 200 grand, and then it will say something along the lines at the bottom of the mortgage illustration, you will pay back £350,000 in interest. Yeah? I'm just like, hold on a minute. Do you understand why it's £350,000 in interest? Outside of the product is like basically the tariff that you take on 2 years, 5 years, or 3 years. Outside of the tariff, after the product ends, then you will go on to like the lender's sort of variable rate, which is mad sky high. Yeah. Once that happens, if you don't get a new product and you let it go on for the length of the rest of the mortgage, let's say you take out a product for 5 years and the total mortgage is 25 years. If you let it go on for the remaining 20 years, you would have paid back £350,000 or 150 extra £1,000 in interest. But no one ever does that. This is the thing, They're misinformed. They're ignorant. They're uneducated. And they just use that as an excuse to not get on the property ladder. I promise you, I guarantee you, you see these people that talk against mortgages and say how it's a scam and that, in 20 years time, when all of my properties are worth 2.5 mil combined, I want to see how much net worth they've got. See, they could laugh and say, but that's in 20 years time and that. Yo, ask people who are 50 years old right now. They'll tell you, the other day I was 30. And trust me, before you blink, you don't watch this right now, who's 30, mid-30s, 40 years old. Yo, your 20s was just the other day, 20 years can fly by. 15 years, 10 years can fly by. Except if obviously you're sitting down behind an iron door in a jail cell, obviously. So, man, you lot, as soon as possible, get on the property ladder. Try and buy as much properties as possible, as soon as possible, so that you can take advantage of the capital appreciation. You don't want to be, you don't want to get to like 50 years old and, okay, you own 3-4 properties and that, but you bought those properties over like a 20-year period. You bought one every 5, 6, 7 years and that. Nah, you want to, in a 7-year period, buy like 4 or 5 properties and that. So that once you've bought, let's say the 5th property, the last one, when you wait 15 years, bam, all of them 5 properties and that, boom, they're all worth a combined total of $1.5 million or something like that. So I told you a lot of this already, couple videos back. I met a woman who's 70 years old, yeah, big woman. And she doesn't live on the estate that like my properties are on, but she lives on an estate where the properties are similar. It's almost exactly the same layout. I said to her, the house that I live around the corner, but the layout is exactly the same. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. And she was like, yeah, she could have bought this property, so the property we're in, because obviously I'm testing her property, and she could have bought it back in the 70s or the 80s for £7,000, but she decided not to. Do you know why? We weren't down to her. Her husband, who's no longer here anymore, he didn't want to get into any debt. He didn't want to take on the risk. Oh, what fucking risk is there? There's no risk. But like, a lot of people are scared of taking out good debt. See, there's good debt and bad debt. A bad debt is fucking credit cards, running up finance, going on holidays that you can't really afford and that. Yeah, that's bad debt. But good debt is taking on mortgages. The guy didn't want to take on good debt. This woman could have been sitting on a property that's worth 210 grand right now. She could have sold it, gone somewhere else. Obviously, 210 is not that much money, but yo, if, let's say, for example, yeah, when they were younger, when they were in their 30s or mid-20s or whatever and that, if they just said, you know what, cool, them two together, they're just going to buy up like 5, 6 properties and that. If they bought up 5, 6 properties, they'll be sitting on $1 million, 1.2. If they bought 5, 6 houses all in the same area and they were all 200 grand a piece, they'll be sitting on 1.2 mil easily, and the money they would have to put down back then would have been chump change. Now, obviously, the cost of living was, wages were a lot lower in that. But at the same time, they're still in a better position back then than we are now. And you know what? It's only going to get harder. So that's why you want to buy properties as soon as possible. So, man, don't listen to these kids, man. They'll be talking about don't buy a property, don't get on the property ladder and that, and they're fucking still living at their mum's house, man, on some joke thing, blood.